Sonic Pi is a free program that allows you to code sounds and music using numbers, notes, or pre-recorded samples. It's great for musicians seeking to think differently about music or for people who have never coded anything. Upon opening Sonic Pi, you will see a row of buttons at the top left and a few separate windows. Each window and button will have their own distinct function. Writing code is just like writing sentences. You will need proper syntax, spelling, and punctuation for the program to understand what you're saying. Starting from the top left, run will allow our code to start, and if it is correctly typed, it will play sounds. Stop will cancel all sounds that are playing. Rec will allow us to record a song that we made, and save and load will allow us to store and open our coded files that we've created. Moving to the right, the log window will keep track of what our code is playing in real time. The queues window will show us which block or chunks of code are being triggered. Now, before we get started, I'd recommend using a pair of headphones or a pair of good speakers. This will allow you to hear the lower frequencies. If your headphones are not working, try restarting Sonic Pi after you plug them in. Finally, on the bottom, the numbers 0 through 9 indicate different buffers or pages where you can enter a blank set of new code. Let's start by typing play 64. Now hit run. You will hear a mid-range note. The higher this number is next to play, the higher the pitch. And the lower the number, the lower the pitch. Just like moving left or right on a piano. Now delete the 4 and 64 and replace it with a 5. Hit run. You'll notice a slight change in pitch. Next, try deleting 65 and replace it with something like 30. You will then hear a much lower note, thus being a substantial difference in pitch. Without deleting play 30, let's add play 64 again, but this time click on line 2 and type it there. Now hit run. You should hear them play at the same time. If you can't hear them, try turning up your volume. Make sure you have headphones on as well. Now let's play them both, but let's give them some space in between them. We're going to add another function. So let's click back on line 1, hit enter. Now type sleep 1 on line 2. Once you hit run, it will play our note 30, pause for 1 second, and play our note 64. Starting to get the hang of this? It's pretty simple once you figure out the basics. Now keep going. Add another sleep function to line 4, and add another play line to line 5. Once you have enough lines of code to play around with, it's easy to start experimenting and making small adjustments to get exactly what you want to hear. So try making your own melody. Shorten the number next to sleep. You can turn that number into a decimal. I changed mine to 0.075 and 0.05 for 3/4 of a second and half a second, as opposed to 1 second. And just like we did before, try changing the pitch of your play functions by changing the numbers. You can go much higher, or you can go much lower. Or simply just add a few extra numbers, or subtract a few extra numbers to get a slight change in pitch. Finally, we can utilize a few more functions: sampling, looping, and effects. Just like play, we're going to type sample, and instead of a number, type a colon, and you will see a huge list of samples like drums, bells, cymbals, and ambient and electric sounds. If you ever need to bring that list back, simply delete all the characters including the space in front of sample and retype the space and colon. Then you will see it. Go ahead and hit run in order to hear your sound. Next, we will make our sounds loop. Click on the beginning of line 1 and hit enter. Type live_loop, all one word, followed by a colon, and name it using any letters. I'll choose ha, so it should look like this. Now, in order for our sounds to actually loop, they must be surrounded by a block. The live loop :ha must be followed by a do, and any lines of code that you would like to loop must be surrounded or sandwiched with an end, like this. This is called a block, and we will be using this block to add effects as well. To add effects, click on the end of line 1, hit enter, and type with_fx space colon. Again, you will see a list of effects pop up. Let's choose a simple one, reverb. The with effects function must utilize a block in order to work. So with_fx reverb must be followed by a do, and any lines of code you wish to have the effect must be followed by an end, like this. If you ever run into any errors, like the syntax error, double check to make sure your live loop and with effects both have a do and an end. Also, make sure there are spaces separating words except when using colons, underscores, or periods for decimals. Now, you have all the basics you need to get started on your song. To further your exploration, click Help on the top right corner to display a tutorial created by Sam Aaron, the developer of Sonic Pi. Here's something I put together. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.